TD Jakes approached me. He was not successful because I refused it and he lost his position. TD knew exactly what it would take to keep people subservient. So did Puff, each in their own way, one through violence and one through the book. TD knew exactly what it took to keep his victims quiet, and so did Puff. And them together, a massive concoction and an H-bomb, if you ask me. The TD Jakes saga just keeps getting bigger, and I mean bigger. And not because of how many people are talking about it, but because of how many things are happening now that people spoke about back then that you can see is true. 2008, let's go back to then. There were allegations brought that TD Jakes had been having inappropriate advances towards people in his cabinet, either at intern level or just below him in their particular agency under the bishop. And they've come forward talking some very interesting things about him. And mind you, 2008, long before the whole fiasco with Puff Daddy happened. One of the things that you will see is a man saying that, hey, it's not a video. I just want you to know this is an article. TD Jakes approached me. He was not successful because I refused it and he lost his position. Now, if you go back and look at the video we did almost a year ago now, you will see exactly that. I would later find out that he was supportive because he was exactly what they were, homosexual. After seeing that I would not fall for his tactic, he said something to me that to this day still reverberates in my ear. Sometimes too much light hurts the eyes. These accusations have been on the table for a long time, so why are we talking about it again? We had a video come out, and we told you that TD Jakes, if he was teaching Puff Daddy, has done a very poor job of actually transferring any information he has about God to Puff. But what if the student was actually the teacher? What if the student was actually the teacher? What do I mean by that? You see, they played off each other. TD knew exactly what it would take to keep people subservient. And so did Puff, each in their own way, one through violence and one through the book. TD knew exactly what it took to keep his victims quiet, and so did Puff. And them together, a massive concoction and an H-bomb, if you ask me. One of them knew the inside workings of the darker circles of Hollywood, and one of them knew the inner circles and the dark workings of the clergy. And they came together to create quite a powerhouse. When you look at it that way, things make more sense. Why? Because all of the people that came forward talking about TD were fearful.
In my 20s, I got to be around some of the biggest men and women of God. And I got to witness things because I got to see them without their armor. One of the things that really happens and seldom talked about is that there's something called grooming. And it happens in the Pentecostal church. It happens in many churches, but I'm referring to the black church specifically.
All the people that came forward talking about Puffy were fearful. And ironically, a lot of these people started to disappear. We interviewed Michelle some time ago, and Michelle Lauda, in case you don't know, and she said the same thing, that people just have this habit of poof, Houdiniing around the Jakes family.
Now, mind you, I'm very scared of this people, this family. And again, I'm going to say that again because I know things, I've seen things, I've heard things to be true on how they tie up loose ends and how they deal with people that do not go along with what they say and do not do what they want them to do. So I was terrified out of my mind.
Whenever they have a discussion or a disgruntled argument with this man, these people have a tendency to just go bye-bye. How does a man of the cloth learn that? Oh, perhaps it could be because he didn't learn it from the cloth. He learned it from the underside of the table where all the gum is stuck under. P. Diddy. A lot of the accusations that were brought forward get swept under the rug, just like with P. Diddy. So I don't think that the man of the cloth is actually teaching Sean Combs anything. I do believe that Puff taught TD Jakes a whole lot of how to keep his nose clean while still keeping it dirty. And I do believe that he can hide under the cloth, no pun intended, of TD Jakes. There are a whole lot of things going on here that many may not want to admit to, but let's just be honest about one thing. The cloth, the church, religion, does not make you exempt from being human. especially when you're actually in it because you're human and not because of God. Because you won't be teaching other people. In fact, you'll be looking to them to learn how they get away with stuff. And that's exactly what TD did. The flip side is, what did TD Jakes and what has he actually taught Sean at all? Let's just look at that. He's been to his church at least once. So what is it that TD Jakes is mentoring Puff Daddy about? Anyone see any proof? Anyone seen any pudding come forward? Anybody? Has Sean changed any of his modes of operation since being under the tutelage of TD Jakes? What we've seen, though, is the opposite happen, that TD has kind of slipped slowly into the dark side to follow even to his parties, Puff Daddy.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
But here's what Puff really learned from TD. Carefully. How to abuse the young. I honestly believe that that is exactly what he learned from TD Jakes. Y'all might say this is a stretch too far and y'all shouldn't put your mouth on God's anointed. TD Jakes ain't anointed by nobody but the devil. Let's just be honest about something here. You can't just say that you're anointed by God and then go ahead and act like you're in Satan's courtyard and expect us to believe that. The proof is in front of us, and like I keep telling people, we trust these. I can see it. A man of the cloth ain't gonna be doing what TD's doing. He wouldn't be hanging with the kind of people he's hanging with. You're gonna say, well, Jesus talked to all the sinners, and he didn't go to their parties though. He didn't go hang out with the prostitute while she's doing her thing. That's what TD Jakes does. See, they play off each other. I'll keep TD in my back pocket so people don't think I'm fully a bad guy. I will keep Puffy in my back pocket so people think I'm reaching out to reach the lost. Meanwhile, in the background, when we go to these parties, I can have my way with women or men or younger, and I can have my way with who all I know. Puffy is probably forging through the church that TD has, forging through Potter's house to find more victims. This is a crazy situation. I hope we get to the bottom of this because it's influencing too many. You see, people that follow TD Jakes, and this is, I get it that people have their choice to make. I get it. But TD has become quite versed in manipulation. And there are plenty of people who will look to him thinking that he actually has some answers for them, and they're honestly seeking, but he knows that, and he will keep them from finding. He'll just keep them running in circles. And that circle is in his wheelhouse where they can keep paying him over and over and over. If we can just have that cycle snap so these people can get a breather to wake up, that'd be amazing. Maybe both of them will fall at the same time. Maybe we'll see the demise of the Jakes ministry and the demise of the Puffy stronghold. I can only hope, because these are souls we're talking about. And we're talking about two masterful manipulators. From all court records, as you can see, Puff has been in the business of making sure you either shut up or cooperate. So has TD. If you listen to Michelle Loud's story, you will fully understand what that man is capable of. And you may not want to believe it. You may hold him in high regard. You may think he has oil of heaven all over him. But understand what you're actually seeing is oil, definitely oil, but the flammable kind. And he's entering a position of extreme flames covered in that oil. So I say, unless you want to join both of them, you better straighten up and fly right. Check your mind. Check your heart. Because a man of the cloth is lying to your face. And if you don't have discernment, you're going to fall for, how did Obama put that? The okie doke.